Hi friends, we are going to learn about transformers. First one, we will introduce the chapters to be covered, and then we are going to learn about the transformer basics. Okay, what are the chapters in this course? Machines course will electrical machines course will introduce. First one, first chapter is we will discuss about transformers. Transformers. Second chapter, we will introduce the basic concepts of electromechanical energy conversion principles. So, energy conversion principles. Third one, we will introduce basic concepts of rotating machinery. Basic concepts of rotating machines. Fourth one, we will introduce DC machines. Fifth one, we will introduce induction machines. So, sixth one, we will introduce synchronous machines. Seventh one, we will introduce single phase induction machines. So, these are the chapters we will cover in this mission. Okay. Next one, what are the books to be referred? First one is Electrical Machinery by Dr. P.S. Bimra. Books, Electrical Machinery by Dr. P.S. Bimra. Second one, we will take Electric Missions by I.J. Nagrath and D.P. Kothari. Electric Missions by I.J. Nagrath and D.P. Kothari. These are the two books we will refer. Next one, we are going to learn first chapter, that is transformer. So transformer is a two-port device, means it has two ports, first port and second port, or primary port and secondary port. It is a coupled device, electromechanical energy conversion. No, it is not electromechanical energy conversion. It converts the electrical energy into an electrical energy with a different levels of voltage and current. Okay, so it has two windings, normally say primary windings and secondary winding, but in secondary winding there may be a third and fourth windings also, depending upon the requirement. Normally we will use two windings, primary and secondary winding, but some cases in some places we will use tertiary winding also for testing of transformer or different purposes, or stepping down, or for measuring purposes. These are all the uses to tertiary winding. So transformer can be used in so many ways or so many places. First one, it is used in the distribution and transmission systems to reduce the losses by reduce the losses by increasing the voltage levels V of the transmission power. We can reduce the P of the system or power loss of the system. Okay. Second one, By increase, it can be used to isolate the primary and the secondary winding, because transformer is a device which has two windings without any electrical connection between them. So it is used to as isolator of two circuits. So it can be used to isolator means consider a transformer coupled amplifier. In transformer coupled amplifier, we will see a coupling transformer and a collector winding, that is this is a transformer which separates the DC part into AC part. So in this we will get only AC signal. It has AC and DC. So this is the one of the use of the transformer in electronic circuits. Next one, it can be used to separate two circuits. Means if the primary winding has same number of turns as the secondary winding, then it is called a simple isolator or separator. The primary winding and the secondary winding. Separator. And so fourth one, impedance matching is used for purpose of impedance matching. What is impedance matching? So impedance matching means whenever the source impedance is equal to load impedance, there will be maximum power transferred to load. This concept is used in the communication systems. This is all the uses of the transformer. There are some more uses, but these are all the major and primary importance and uses of the transformer. Transformers construction. Transformers are constructed in two ways, that is cell type transformer and the core type transformer. This is cell type and core type. In cell type transformer, the core covers the entire winding, some part of the winding or some part of the winding. This is, so here winding will come here. This is winding. In core type transformer, winding will cover some part of the core. This is okay. Here two windings will become, one is primary and the secondary winding. Normally, the winding is designed in such a way that to reduce the leakage inductance. So, to reduce the leakage inductance, here we will take this configuration first. The primary winding, the low voltage winding is wound nearer to the core, and high voltage winding. For example, secondary V2 is greater than V1. Assume this is a step-up transformer. So primary winding is wound on this fashion, and this is the secondary winding is used. So in this is a fashion to design the transformer, because so to reduce the core losses or to reduce not core losses, to reduce the leakage inductance, so we will wound the transformer so in a stack manner, means in a sandwiched manner or overlapped manner. This is a overlap manner, lapped manner. So first will be the low voltage winding and second will be the high voltage winding. So why it is low voltage winding nearer to the core means to reduce the insulation material. If you use high voltage winding nearer to the core, we have to use high insulating material. That's why, so to reduce the insulating material, we will use low voltage winding nearer to the core and high voltage winding secondary. In this, we will use stack of windings V1, V2, V1, V2. First is V1 primary winding, secondary winding, primary winding, secondary winding. In this way, in this fashion, we will use in cell type transformer. This is all about the construction of the transformer. Simple method. Then we will go to the concept of transformer. Means how the transmission takes place, the power from one circuit to other circuit without electrical connection. First take an core transformer, taking primary winding on the primary first limb and secondary winding on second limb for simplicity. This is core type transformer. First limb. So this is primary winding. This is secondary winding. Okay. Excite and primary winding with an AC source. This is AC source. IE. Excite secondary winding. No. Secondary winding is left. First assume the transformer is under no load condition, and then take this transformer is ideal. What is ideality of the transformer? The ideality of the transformer means the core loss of the transformer PC is equal to 0. Next one, it should not have any leakage inductance. No leakage flux. Third one, RE is equal to 0. The resistance of winding is 0. Fourth one, it is linear for all value of flux, that is phi is directly proportional to IE. Exciting current is directly proportional to phi, or phi is directly proportional to IE. This is all our ideality of the transformer. Assume this transformer is ideal and under no load condition. Now take the condition. Whenever we excite a primary winding with an AC source of frequency F, then we will get an exciting current IE, which is in sinusoidal manner. Then there will be a flux phi, which is also in sinusoidal manner. So we can write phi of t is equal to phi maximum sin of omega t. Is it? This is sin omega. So according to Faraday's law, so E1 induced voltage E1 is equal to, let us assume this winding, number of windings at the primary is equal to N1, number of winding at the secondary is equal to N2. Okay, this voltage is V1, primary voltage is V1, and this voltage V2. Okay, so here write this in here. This is E2, this is all E1. Okay, so E1 is equal to minus N1 into d phi divided by dt. Is it? So here minus came because of Lenz's law. Okay, and then now E1 is equal to minus N1 into omega into phi maximum into cos of omega t. When cos omega t is equal to 1, this is the maximum, that is equal to N1 omega phi maximum, that is equal to 2 pi f N1 phi maximum E1 is equal to. This is all the induced EMF in the primary winding. Okay. Now take RMS value of this voltage. Okay. Take RMS value of this voltage. Come to here. So E1 is equal to, so 2 pi f n1 phi maximum divided by root 2, that is equal to 4.44 n1 f phi maximum. This is the induced voltage in the winding. Similarly, the induced voltage in the secondary also 4.44 n2 f phi maximum. Since same phi links at the primary and the secondary, that's why we are directly written 4.44 n2 f phi max. So this is 1 and 2. Divide 1 by 2, that is equal to E1 by E2 is equal to N1 by N2. This is one of the famous equation or required equation to solve the transformer problem. Okay. Since R1 and X1 means, so Z1 is equal to 0, V1 is equal to E1. So E1 by E2 is equal to V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2. This is one of the equation. Next, so it is under no load condition. We will draw the phasor diagram of this figure, and then we will go to under loaded condition. Okay. First, what is a phasor diagram? So phasor diagram is a representation of the phases or phasors which are rotating at a synchronous speed. Usually, we will see the phasors in AC systems only, not in DC systems, because in a DC system the quantity is constant everywhere in the time domain. But in AC system, the phasors or the voltages or the currents are not same. It has different values at a different times. That's why we'll use phasor concepts. So we'll take phi as a reference phasor, phi, and then first one. So phi. So induced EMF in the primary winding will lag the phi by 90 degrees. Even. Okay. At the same time, secondary winding, in the secondary winding also, the induced EMF lag the phi by 90 degrees. E2. Assume E2 is greater than E1. V2 is greater than V1. Step up transformer. Okay. So usually, if you refer the E2 E1 at the primary, then V1 is equal to minus E1. This is the only representation of the winding voltage at the primary, because at the primary V1 we will apply here, we will get E1 in this fashion, E1. So according to KVL, V1 plus E1 is equal to 0. Is it? So V1 is equal to minus E1. From this equation, we will say that applied voltage and induced EMFs are opposite in direction. Means 180 degrees displacement is there. That is 180 degrees. 180 degrees displacement is there between the applied voltage and the induced EMF. This can be done. This can be analyzed in the other way also. That is, if you apply the voltage, since because of inductor, this is V. Na? So if you apply the voltage, because of inductive nature, the I will lag the voltage by 90 degrees, is it? So V, it is I. So I lags the voltage V by 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Since it is at linear condition, this is at linear condition, I is directly proportional to phi. Now, the induced voltage in this winding lag the phi by 90 degrees. So, this is phi, this is induced voltage, this is 90 degrees. Totally 180 degrees will come. This is the other way of analyzing the circuit. Okay. Next, coming to transformer under loaded condition. We'll take the loaded condition. Okay. So now we'll connect a load at the secondary. This is transformer. Take simply. This is primary wire. This is load. So this is I. This is I1, I2. Okay. Now coming to this concept. Whenever the flux phi is flowing in this transformer, when that is primary is excited by an AC source, I1 is established, excitation current is established, then the phi is established in the core. This phi links both the primary winding and the secondary winding. Then the EMF induced in the primary and the secondary winding will take place. Now, because secondary winding is connected to load, there may be there is a flow of current because closed path is formed here. That's why here current will flow. This current opposes this phi. This current opposes this core flux phi due to Lenz law. So as this phi opposes, there may be a reduction of phi. Phi reduces in the core. This reduction in phi reduces the E1. Means see here, E1 is equal to N1 into d phi by dt. Here, so this is equal to V1. Okay, if E1 reduces means V1 also must reduce, but the source voltage or the supply voltage is constant. Supply voltage constant. So to keep E1 constant, somehow we have to supply the additional current such that we will establish same flux in the core. That additional current is taken from the slow source. That is I1 now equal to I1 is equal to IE plus I1 I2 dash. Okay, this I2 dash is called load component of current. So as load increases, I2 dash increases to supply the same flux in the core. This is all the stimulative actions will take place. Simultaneous actions will take place in the transformer. Okay. Now as the I2 dash increases, now power supplied from the AC also increases. So I2 is directly proportional to I2 dash. So multiply V on both sides. V2 I2 is directly proportional to V1 I2 dash. So this is primary power is directly proportional to secondary power. P2 is directly proportional to P1. There is a power transfer takes place. So power P2 is directly proportional to P1 means I will write in this way. Okay, P1 is directly proportional to P2. So as load power increases, the source power must increases to supply the same power to the load. Okay, this is all transformer. action takes place to supply to transfer the power from the primary circuit to the secondary circuit of different voltage levels and different current levels. Okay. Now coming to one more equation, one more term in the equation, that is, so by neglecting the IE can be neglected, then I1 is equal to I2 dash. Is it? Okay. Now I1 came. So from this equation, I1 N1 is equal to I2 N2. Is it? This is correct. So primary MMF is equal to secondary MMF. Must be equal. So then N1 by N2 is equal to I2 by I2 by I1. That is equal to E1 by E2 is equal to V1 by V2. This is all transformer equation. So it's a transformer equation. Okay. Now coming to impedance transformations. So impedance transformations, from this equation we can transform the impedance. Okay. See here, I can write I1 is equal to N1 by N2 into I2. Gets V1 is equal to V1 is equal to N1 by, okay, I'll write, okay, this is wrong. Okay, N2 by N1 is it? N2 by N1. Is it? N2 by N1 into I1, N2 by N1 into I2. So V1 is equal to N1 by N2 into V2. So take by on both sides. So V1 by, no, not take. So this is okay. 1, this is 2. Assume this 2 by 1 gives rise to. So V1 by I1 is equal to. So this is I2 by, this is V2. So N2 by N1, N1 by N2, that is equal to N2 by N1 whole square into Z2. Can I write V1 by I1 is equal to Z1, Z1 is equal to N2 by N1 whole square into Z2. So this, from this Z2 dash, that is the impedance at the secondary, can be referred to the primary in Z2 dash is equal to, can be write K square into Z2. Similarly, we can refer the current levels, voltage levels, and power levels. No, power levels can't be referred to primary secondary, because power is same from the primary winding to secondary, except some core losses and some other things. Okay, this is all the impedance transformation of the transformer. Next, coming to the problems, today's problem. Here we have two problems. First one is, so first one, here we have given a transformer of tertiary winding, 3 windings. Okay, this is first winding, primary winding. This is secondary winding. This is third winding. Here voltage applied 200 volts. Here number of turns are 100 turns. Here 160 turns. Here 60 turns. Here current is given 10 amps. Here 20 amps. Okay. Now we have to find the, here resistor is connected of, here capacitor is connected. Okay, this is given problem. we have to find I1 and the polarities are marked in the primary winding P. We have to mark the polarities at the secondary and the current directions. Okay, this is all the winding. So first we have to find the I1. To find the I1, we will refer the secondary currents to the primary, neglecting the excitation current. Okay, then we have to refer the secondary current to the primary. In the secondary current, we have to take phasor sum of the two windings we have taken. So first take phasor diagram. This is phi. Okay. Now the voltage E2, E3, E1 are F2, F3, MMFs F1. This is all. Okay. So first E2 is in this direction and E3 also in this direction. Take in this way. Okay. This is take E3 and E2 and F2 and F3 also not in F3. So F2 is in the same direction because the current is in phase with the induced voltage. Okay. But now in F3 means, so in the third winding the current leads the voltage by 90 degrees. So we'll take F3 in this direction. So take phasor sum of these two current, these two MMFs. Coming to F1, F2 is equal to 160 into 10, that is equal to N1 N2 I2. Okay, 1600 ampere turns. Okay, next F3 is equal to 60 into 20, that is equal to 1200 ampere turns. Okay, now F23 is equal to root of, because these two are 90 degrees displaced, we can take directly this fashion, Pythagoras theorem. Okay, 1600 square plus 1200 square. Computing these two, we will get 2000 ampere turns. Okay, so this is the at the secondary. Then referring this MF to primary, we will get divided by 100. Okay, is it? So find the current in this way. Okay, no. So F2 dash this is F23 is equal to 2000 ampere turns. F23 dash is equal to, means this can be referred to the primary side. F3 dash, this is F1 dash. So F3 dash, this F3 is referred to primary. How much will become? Okay, see, what happened here? Okay. So according to MMF concept, primary MMF is equal to primary MMF is equal to secondary MMF. So 2000 ampere turns is equal to 100 into I1. So I1 is equal to 20 amps. So here 20 amps will come. F23 dash. Okay, this is I1 is equal to 20 amps. The polarity markings are plus minus. This is the current directions. This is in this direction. This is in this direction. This is all about first problem. Okay. Next one. Next question is given a transformer which is connected to a load of 5 at an angle of 30 degrees. At an angle of 30 degrees. This is primary. So we have to find this is 200 volts. Okay. The number of turns at the primary is 150 and the secondary 75 is given. Okay. Now first take N2 by N1. N2 by N1 is equal to 75 by 150, that is equal to 1 by 2. Okay. The secondary impedance can be transformed to the primary impedance, that is 5 at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay. Z2 dash is equal to into 2 whole square, that is equal to 20 at an angle of 30 degrees. Next, secondary current can be transformed to primary current. First we have to refer the primary voltage to secondary voltage. So here 200 volts, so by 2 we'll get 100 volts. So here 100 volts we'll get. Okay, 100 volts means, so I2 is equal to 100 divided by 5 at an angle of 30 degrees, that is equal to 20 at an angle of minus 30 degrees. So power factor is equal to cos of minus 30 degrees, that is equal to, is it 0.866 lagging power factor. This same power factor will come to primary because it is ideal transformer. So PF2 is equal to PF1. Now referring the secondary current to the primary, we'll get that it is I1 is equal to 20 divided by 2 at an angle of minus 30 degrees. So 10, that is equal to 10 amps will come. If you refer the primary impedance, means primary power, secondary power are same. So this is all about the impedance referring of the second problem. Okay. Thanks for listening.